flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We have an agenda. Motion to approve the minutes.
Make the motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. It's approved. Communications.
This week I went out with Dylan and the director at the lake. We looked at all those insurance claims that were out there, and I became more confused than when I started. They're wanting us to replace roofs and to the naked eye, they look great. All them tin roofs on those pavilions.
They dented.
Not any more than what the brand new one looks like that was put on just recently. To me, like it's more of a contract, you know, when they're, maybe I did them when they're putting them on. So, I don't know I don't know what the option is now, because you hate to take her off a good roof. But Dylan called the insurance man yesterday. He says, well, if you don't do it, we'd still be covered for blew it off.
Right.
But if we had a catastrophic hailstorm, we would be covered. So I don't know what to do. Like I said, there would be four tin roofs on pavilions that they recommend replacing, and the one on the house they recommended replacing. So that'd be a lot of roofs.
What percent of new compared to what we get paid is, whatever it is?
I don't know.
It's a total replacement cost.
I don't know what's our depreciation value on that too? What's it gonna be?
But I think our insurance is replacement, not depreciation.
Dylan said something about depreciation yesterday, but
Okay, that's.
I don't know.
It's different than what I've heard then.
Yeah, like I said, and that's the other question is how did ICAP get notified? We gotta look at it.
They went around to look at everything when we did that insurance deal. They went around and checked all the buildings for when we were rebidding our insurance.
Okay, so why did they come down to check them out for after the storm?
That was, I think it was after the storm they came out.
And you know, somebody called them coming down and
Yeah, I kind of wondered that too, if they were doing that in every county or what.
because
We need to.
we would have never turned these buildings in.
Right. That's why they caught it, I think, when they did the inspections. Because we need to go around, I was talking to Dan about that, is every so many years to make sure we're up, to make sure we have insured what we should be insured at,
And I would like to see what,
because we were behind.
I'd like to see what each building is insured at. I mean, that would be a big thing because they put all the pavilions together. I think there's 7 or 8 of them. It's all under one. So do we replace every pavilion? I don't know. There's a lot, like I said, I'm more confused after doing that than I was before. Like, if it's gonna cost, let's just say it costs $80,000 to do all the pavilions. And we come out and we have, it's end up costing us, the insurance only covers part of that, then what?
Because I'm trying to get them to give us cash value now is what I think they're gonna do. And then as you fix them, they'll make up the difference as you go. So if that building costs you $10,000 to repair, if the cash value is, cash value is $10,000 and it costs us 12, they'll make up the other 2.
So what would your recommendation be on like all those steel roofs that are there?
I need to talk to the insurance guy, make sure I got that understanding right.
Yeah, 'cause I drove through there as well, and I didn't crawl up on a ladder or anything, but I was like, oh. One, I didn't realize there was that many that were tin and not shingled. There's only 1 or 2.
2 that are shingled. There are 2 that are shingled, the rest of them are all tinned. But we had one just recently done, and like, it has the same amount of dents as the other ones.
So it's just dense, it's not
Yeah.
curled up or peeling.
No. No, on the tin roofs, no, tin roofs all look,
Like shingles are awful, aren't they?
yeah, shingles are terrible. But,
So the shingles we
right,
I told Dylan I'm supposed to get bids on shingles and steel.
Which
If we get a chance to steal it, be done.
we probably should make sure he knows the process for the sealed bids and that we spec it out. We are specing them, right?
Supposed to be getting sealed bids and everything, everybody gets the same.
Would the option be to take the money for the shingles and then steal it instead? I mean, we'd
that's
pay,
what I'm looking-
we'd pay the extra.
We pay the difference, but if, I'm gonna point around, so if you're building number one and we're not gonna do you, can we take the cash value that we got?
That's what, yeah, that's,
That's when it's with that one, that was in worse shape.
yeah, that's what- but then our whole pavilion thing, they're all booked together.
But we're not getting, we're getting one lump check. We're
Right.
not getting 15 checks or whatever.
Right. I mean, for the whole county, you're gonna get one lump check.
Right.
I see.
So yeah, it's a drawn out process. I won't get it done today, but I'll talk to Los again next week.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions there, cause like,
To make sure we get as far as we can with the money we have.
right,
I'd rather, if we can get stuff done without cost us anything, it'd be perfect, but. You know, if those buildings don't need to be done, we still get paid for them, why not? Just take the money and put it toward other ones.
Chris, are the buildings with the shingles, are those damaged due to the storm at the stage?
the buildings,
The shingles-
The shelter with the shingles? You
Those-
said
Oh.
two
those
shelters
are
with
just worn
shingles.
out, aren't they?
there's one now. They weren't
They
damaged,
just
they
want,
weren't
it's
because
not
of
an
the storm.
insurance claim.
No, it is an insurance.
It is, yeah,
Yeah, they're paying us on it.
yeah, they put all this, like I said, all them shoulders together.
See, if I remember right, they came out for that inspection and they saw the damage and they attributed it to the previous storm. They didn't come out after the storm and look.
Yeah, I think that was right.
We didn't know how to check all the buildings, they did.
Yeah, and like I said, we would have, if you walked up with a naked eye, now to me, when you see hail damage, it's gonna be all over your roof. This is mostly, I guarantee it happened when the contractor did it. It had nothing to do with hail. That's the bad part.
Well, don't complain.
But if it costs us money, I'm gonna complain.
Well, that's the thing too, is, all these insurance claims are great, but does that go into a renewal and then,
Right.
and if
It
we're doing,
doesn't, it doesn't think it goes into our renewal per se, because if we're an ICAP, we're in a.
well, I know, but you know what I mean? But if they shell out all this money in Iowa County, everybody's goes up kind of concept.
Because next year, we're still in the old system on this claim, is we don't have that huge deductible per building, otherwise it goes to per building, we're in a deductible for the whole storm. Next year it changes, that's why I think you have to utilize what we got.
Yeah, I do, but the bad thing is I'm sure our rates are gonna go through the roof, but especially if they're doing this in any other county.
Right. And conservation buildings are all separate, building and maintenance. He doesn't have to worry about it. We've never, conservation's always taken care of their own buildings. So that's how it's always been, right? That's what I said, so, which is fine. They don't, because they're like, gosh, am I supposed to take care of these? I said, no, don't worry about
I
that.
know what about these, yeah.
Yeah, I said, it's not your responsibility. So
Okay.
I just went out there I wanted to see up close what they look like, so. And we had Easy Cog yesterday, housing and the regular one, the major there.
Could you hear very well?
No,
There's, like, when you talked and people that were online, they could hear them great, but the people at the meeting were awful.
yeah, it was,
Acoustics or something are bad. Okay, sorry.
You and I both attended the Kirkwood Leadership Council meeting. It was more of an informational session for the most part, and then when it came time for discussion amongst the council, it got a little in the weeds, and
a lot of weeds.
it didn't seem to be the most productive meetings, but we still went. Yeah.
Good turnout, I mean, other.
Yeah, how many people do you think were there?
But there was 35, 40.
That's what I was thinking. It's quite a few people.
They asked for funding.
No,
No, they just gave the first hour was them talking about Kirkwood and what all that they do, so. Anyways,
Because last night was that other informational meeting about the school, and we went to that or
but,
about the bond,
not. Yeah,
when was that?
there was one last night for agriculture leaders or something, they had it down in the way room.
Did you go?
Oh, I never got invited to
The
that.
field.
Oh,
I wasn't able to make it, but I never got invited.
Yes, I couldn't.
I know they went to the Farm Bureau and then went to a cattleman meeting.
The Farm Bureau thing, I didn't, did you read the spokesman? Did I read that right? It's gonna cost $2.15 per acre,
I think so, yeah.
extra taxes per year.
Cause you and I did our homes and it's several $100s on just on my own.
right?
Yeah. And I think it's interesting, I've had a lot of people reach out to me with questions on that because in the flyer, what does it say? It's $2.70 per thousand levy right now.
Mhm.
And they're saying that it's not gonna increase property taxes because they're gonna maintain that, but the reality is the gym bond is finally coming off and they've been paying extra, so I think that's why it's already so high. But they're taking that gym bond off, so the property taxes should be coming back down to the normal, non-inflated rate of paying for the gym.
Right, that's how you make it so it doesn't look so bad.
Yeah,
But instead of just bringing them down, we're just gonna roll it over to the next. So,
They got it there, they want to keep it there.
Yep.
but, I mean, if I had a commercial space in Williamsburg, oh my gosh, like, I say it all the time, I mean, it's public information, but if you look at Ullman's, they pay over $20,000 a year in property taxes for a mom and pop business, and that's insane. That's an income tax payment. That's not a property tax payment.
That's a lot of sofas to be sold.
Yeah, Yeah.
It's terrible.
it's insane. So, I don't know, we'll see how that shakes out.
I'm surprised we got more signs out for it. There's a lot of vote yes or vote no signs out.
Well, that should be brought up too. I had a little conundrum this week with some people from the state because they're having the satellite voting at the school during teacher conferences, 2 days. And talk about conflicts, that doesn't look very good because you could have teachers in there in these conferences telling people to go vote for this.
But it's all legal though, isn't it?
What, it's legal, but they technically can't do that. Like teachers, it's illegal, the electioneering, right, Brandy, if they say anything. But who's to say behind a closed door it's not gonna happen? And it affects all of our election. I mean, every candidate, you're either gonna vote for presidential on down, and who's to say that they're not pandering to different candidates there? You know what I mean? They could be influencing the election in all sorts of ways.
But there's nothing we can do if it's.
No, but it doesn't look very good. I don't think it was a wise choice.
Oh, I agree.
But that's how they did it the last time at the basketball games, having the satellite voting, and they won it by what, 35 votes or something the last time?
Was that a general election too, or was that just a bond issue?
That was a bond issue.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't, you couldn't vote on everything, it was just that.
Mm-hmm.
But this one you can vote on everything.
Yeah, it's like you're filling your whole ballot out. Yeah. And then I had a lengthy Board of Health meeting on Wednesday. We're gonna go over annual report here later. We did pass some policies per Sherry's request. And Tim, the county attorney, had approved them, but long story short, if homeowners build a new structure and do not contact the environmental health office and do not get the permit, their fine will be doubled, their fee will be doubled, and they'll have an additional fine up to $500 that could be charged. So this is targeting.
That can be or will be.
May be charged, and that's up to the sanitarian's discretion. It kind of depends if you were one that was like, oh, I forgot, or like you're only like halfway in, or you just thought about your septic permit versus people. We just had somebody install on a brand new home. They illegally illegally hooked up to a field tile. And it was a buddy system. The contractor knew better, and they said, yeah, this is my buddy, this is why we did it. So trying to circumvent some of that. The other one we did was, if you ask for a water test, she's having an issue of homeowners not being there. She's driving across the county, and nobody is home at the time that they say that they were gonna be there. And so if you don't cancel within an hour or prior to an hour before your test time, a $25 fee will be charged for her time and mileage.
Seems all reasonable.
Yeah, other counties have that apparently. And then I can pass this one around. I understand the majority of this, but basically it's about the requirements. If you want to be able to install a septic system, you have to have, in Iowa County, you have to have accreditations, which apparently, I guess, all the people that are currently doing it in our county, pretty much all of them already have all these accreditations and do the CEUs that are required to keep it. But we did have one contractor that came from multiple counties away that had no accreditation and illegally installed a system or did an illegal system. And so he acted like he didn't know. So then we just want to make sure it's clear that if you want to install systems in Iowa County, that you have to have the state, it's all state required anyways. But, and then the other thing was in this policy, same thing, there's some people that are kind of trying to do it themselves or new guys starting out, and she's having to go like 6-7 times like to the job site to look at it because they have questions and basically asking her how to do it.
Even the ones that are accredited?
Not our main ones, but some of the, there's some, I think my understanding is there's some younger guys that are just getting started and it's like they're taking up a lot of their time because they don't really quite understand what they're supposed to be doing. And so if more than the 3 trips that typically you have to have when you're putting your system in, if you require more than those 3, you can be billed $150 per trip after that. So just trying to make up for all the time that she's spending with people that either A, don't know what they're doing, or B, are doing things illegally. So other than that, what else did we have? The holiday pay was another thing on the agenda again. And the board is having a really hard time. There was a board member that expressed that she did not understand what they were doing when they made the employee more than 30 or more hours. And there's a lot of variability in what each board member thought benefits, the prorated benefits were. So that the goal is to have a meeting within the next 2 weeks with Galloway involved, and possibly a closed session, to identify, well, I guess we wouldn't even have to do closed session, but to identify what benefits this donut hole employee or future donut hole employees would receive. And
this would be a policy that board would have, because we're not changing ours.
yes, so that there was a proposal to, the proposed language for the policy was to basically give them everything. But the board didn't feel like that was, I don't think everyone on the board wanted that to happen. And so we're gonna meet with Galloway and try to find what's really required, there's some mixed feelings about what our policy says and what this policy wants to do, but like I said, I think if we're making our own policy, that supersedes anything that we have. But anyway, so we're gonna work that out later here in the next 2 weeks. And then it was approved to give and one of the employees is now serving as the clinical manager. We had the IDALS, the Iowa Department of Inspection Appeals, came 2 weeks ago. I think I forwarded you guys the email that I got that they were there. Actually was supposedly the best results we've had in over a decade. Best
review.
Yeah. Only had 3 or 4, I can't remember, 3 check marks against us, not major things, so that's good. But in that time period, they had to identify a clinical manager to report to IDALS while they were there. And so the employee that stepped up to that position is getting the $2 an hour increase that the previous clinical manager was getting paid. So I think that's everything.
Is that everything from the health board or everything for you?
That's everything.
Okay, so let's just, you're good.
Well, I got something, but.
Okay, we'll wait until after. Okay, go ahead, Matt, sorry.
Even though we didn't bring any food again.
Yeah, I didn't eat breakfast this morning.
Yeah, we were all,
Neither did
I even talked to Nick last night. We
Said he gave you money.
got,
Now that's why.
we need a couple more yet. Yeah, he said, I keep telling him, he told us.
We both need one.
All right, jump right into it here. Our Wolfman Bridge on 265th, they are bringing in a lot of riprap this week and doing final grading. Our inspector said that he thinks they could be done possibly next week. So,
I've been out there for a while again, I got busy.
no, they've we went out there a few times, nobody was working, but I mean, they have their working days, so.
Just beautiful weather, hate to see them not get it done once like this.
Right, yep, so, yeah, he said they have about a week left probably. So that'll be good to get that wrapped up. Our concrete patching, is on hold right now. They moved out to work on a different job, I assume, but, we touched base with them this morning. And they thought they'd be back either the second or third week of October. And they said they got about 3 to 5 days left of work there, so. For our road crew, they've been doing a lot of crack sealing on that 15 still. Seems like they've been going on that for like. Then we also had a crew out on 169, east of town here, regrading a dirt road.
So when they go to resurface that down the road, it's asphalt. Is the patch, will it grind up even with the existing asphalt then?
Up here?
Yeah, just curious.
More than likely, it's an asphalt road, would probably do a cold in place, so we'd grind up 3 inches, so that would just be.
So my question is, will the patch grind evenly with the top 3 inches with the
Yeah.
asphalt, existing asphalt?
Softer.
Yeah,
There's not a harder-
it'll mill up with everything.
It'll
else.
mill up with everything else, okay, just curious. They've really been going to town on it, that's for
Yeah.
sure. I went to Amana last night for supper and it was just,
Yep,
yeah,
so definitely getting our money's worth out of that crack sealing machine.
yes, you are.
So, but yeah, there was that dirt road on 169th, you couldn't get a grader through, so had a crew out there clearing the brush, and they're gonna kind of reshape the road and try to throw in some ditches too, if it works.
Have you heard anything from any property owners on LL Avenue north of Ringo on the brush removal? I know you did it, spoke to it last week.
I have not,
Good.
so I'm not sure if Nick's heard anything, but I haven't heard of any phone calls coming in about it, so. In the office, we finalizing the check plans for the St. John's Road. Those are due next week, so we'll get those submitted. Our guys have been down in North English, inspecting their road project, since we had a little section of that.
You know the time frame on that either?
No, they've been milling and patching right now, so, I'm not sure what all they have left to do with the concrete patching that they were gonna do. But for our section, we've got our asphalt patch in, so now it's just waiting on them to do their main line paving there, so. We've started doing some surveys for next year's construction projects. We got about 8 or 9 of them to do, so we're gonna get going on those so we can start designing. And then the guys have just been working on their closeouts for this year's projects, a lot of paperwork. You guys have any questions?
Weather's been good. Able to get a lot of stuff done. It looks great.
So I've had several people ask about washboards, but we can't do anything just due to the dryness.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
A lot of up the stop signs and stuff.
right, yeah, once we get some moisture, we can grade them, but,
Otherwise, I told them it'll just disintegrate the powder, right?
yeah, pretty much,
It'll come back worse if they turn it down.
yeah. So,
And it's- theoretically, then we should be saving money on fuel since we're not maintaining very much.
yeah. Yep, keep the guys busy on those dirt roads, and,
The roads are dusty.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow, I met a semi the other day
Yeah.
between Conrad and my house. Oh, I had to stop. I just couldn't see
Couldn't
nothing.
see nothing.
No.
we stopped out a road where they're putting in those utilities, and with that equipment too, like, there was just like an inch of just power the road, it seemed like.
If you mow some properties next to the gravel road,
It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when I'm in, the tractor behind the combine, I used to drive by field, you hit something, you know, turn.
So dust control is supposed to be good until October 1st, and the maintainer operator has the ability to make the judgment that it needs to be removed, or is that the engineers doing
The operator will make the call.
that? Okay,
They won't touch it unless they need to. I mean, they're all,
we can be assured of that. It's nasty, you know, out there, the dust
yeah,
everywhere.
so.
And one guy
They won't-
accidentally got removed this week, and well, why did I take it to one?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They don't want to touch them. Have to, you know.
Okay.
they were going up.
They know
were
what
going
I'm
to place this morning.
Well, it'd be nice if they would leave them in as long as
They
possible.
will.
This year it's really
Yeah.
bad.
They will.
It is bad.
Yeah, so I
As long as they ain't got potholes in them.
keep that
They leave them pretty good.
knowledge prevalent to the operators.
Yeah, we'll pass it along. But
Thank you.
They know, so.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Nope. All right.
so they went out and redid one. Like that?
The county got that calcium, they got a calcium truck.
Oh, you guys out?
Yeah,
She could put
this
it.
morning, they really,
Yeah, I saw they were going out, so we're gonna fix that one.
they accidentally went through one.
Yeah, I know, don't worry, I know.
So, all right, well, thank you guys.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait till lunch now.
Yeah, the growls.
Maybe next time.
Do you want me to text Becky?
Yeah, they can all show up early. Liquor licenses, oh, wait, sorry, Alan?
So I got two things. Number one, I've not found anybody for Sumner Township yet. I'm wondering, should we put an ad in the paper?
I've reached out a couple feelers, I just need a job. Is there a way to get a job description, what they have to do? Cause I don't think I explained it very well. Is there anything I can give them to, this is what you have to do?
Township handbook,
Just something like,
Maybe you could have them.
cause everybody has such a bad rap, it's just such a terrible job to have. But then you talk to like the one in Millersburg there, she thinks it's easy, so. I don't know.
Maybe have them talk to a current township secretary
I can say,
that actually likes doing it.
yeah, I might have her talk to that one. But yeah, I got one feeler out anyway. I told her it was gonna be a volatile job, so.
So should we put something in the paper advertising, or should we drag it out a little longer?
You wanna drag out a little?
Let's drag it out a little longer.
Okay. The other thing is, 2 weeks ago today, I left for Iowa City for Eastern Iowa Council Workforce Development meeting with all the county CEOs. The only person that showed up was myself and Bob Yoder, supervisor from Washington County. There was no meeting. They canceled the meeting en route. They never told us. They never contacted Bob or myself, and we were supposed to be discussing the current director, and she went ahead and put in her resignation that morning, Elizabeth Rodriguez. So we're now without director. There were some issues between her and one of the potentially other employees, so without going into the weeds, they'll be searching actively for a new director to replace Liz, who I thought did a wonderful job.
That's for what committee? Alan?
Eastern Iowa Council Workforce Development.
Becky needs to move to next week.
What?
She needs to move to next week. Do we have a time frame, Becky, or Brandy, that you want to tell her?
Good thing you contacted her.
So I, just sent you guys over the Board of Health minutes and those, policies, so in case somebody calls you or contacts you, you have a copy of them. The one that you'll, only is different that was approved was the one with the fine of not getting a permit for your septic tank. The one that you guys see will say 200, but it was, voted to amend it to 500, so.
I can put her on at 10.
Okay. Sound good?
Okay, Alan, did you have anything else?
Well, no.
You hesitated.
Yeah, I do, but I'm trying to work my way through this. Maybe we need to put it on this tower bill for, with
Yeah, I don't understand what's,
Iowa Tower Electric. I mean,
They're working through that with lawyers and Josh right now.
okay,
So I don't know if we want that in public as of right now,
yeah,
since we're dealing legally.
yeah. So I'm just trying to understand that.
Is that the homestead tower?
No, there's towers from Victor. I'm gonna be as vague as possible, that we agreed about X amount of dollars in electricity.
Oh.
And then when they changed it like 5 or 10 times of what it is. And we're absorbing that right now. We're trying to get rid of that.
Oh, I did see that, yeah.
Probably the most I should say.
yeah, I think that's.
I have nothing else then at this point in time.
Okay.
I went to the Eastern Iowa Mental Health Region Board meeting yesterday. They had the meeting at 10, and then there was like a thing at noon where they had lunch, and all the new counties that are gonna be in that district were gonna come in and they were gonna discuss some stuff, but I didn't stick around for that. But from the meeting that I went to, it sounds like I will go on the board. They're not gonna change that unless that changes next month. That I will represent us on that board starting January 1st. And that would be to kind of help transition us from out of that one. And actually, the chairman of the board is also leaving that district as well. He's from Bremer County. So they want us both to be on that board, so I'll plan to do that. A lot of her information was what May gave us when she was here last week, but the final bid presentations to the HHS is gonna be November 20th and 21st. So the finalists to be the ASOs or the operators of the districts will go in then and put on their presentation. And then they'll announce the ASOs on December 30th. Some of the ones that I picked up that have applied for some of these districts is Unity Point, Iowa Primary Care, New Opportunities of Southwest Iowa, Elevate Iowa, and then like some of the other regions like May has it as a region. There's, I think, 8 of those that might have bid for districts. So we'll find out later on, you know, if some of these nonprofit groups end up becoming the ASOs of our districts, our employees may not be county employees anymore. We don't know that yet. We talked about that. And there's also.
When does that get shook out, do we know?
Well, the ASOs will be announced December 30th. And they've all sent in basically their presentation of how they're gonna operate that district. I mean, just these people that have applied, there's some of these names that I said that have applied to run 3, 4, 5 districts. So there could be a chance that one company might run all the districts in the whole state. We don't know. There could be a chance that there won't be representation from any counties on any of these boards. But I don't think that would happen. It shouldn't happen. We should be able to be represented on some of these boards. So hopefully we are. But I do know that there's at least 2 applicants per district. So it's not like some people were wondering, well, what if a district doesn't have anybody apply to be the ASO? But it was mentioned that there's at least 2 applicants per district. So there's competition to get this ASO job. You can almost imagine the one we're currently in that's applying for it. We talked about it last week, how the population of that is gonna be so much bigger than any of the others. So you can just imagine what their budget's gonna be compared to the district we're gonna be in. But the bottom line is our people that need the services are gonna get the services whether they're in their district, or their services are in their district or not. So even though Johnson County and Lynn County and Benton County won't be in our district, well, no, I think Benton County might still be in our district. but people from Iowa County will still use services in Johnson County, still use services in Lynn County, so.
Which I think is good that they're getting the money because they're going to provide the services. So I think it makes sense, like, as much as that map, like, kind of shocked me when it came out, I think it kind of makes sense.
We'll just see how it's just kind of a wait and see, so. But that's the only meeting I had this week, and then I do have a meeting at 10 o'clock today that I may jump online, the juvenile detention board up in Eldora.
Coming down.
It hasn't, I think it's calming down, but it's not completely, so.
We might be close to done by then.
Yeah, I text.
Yeah, I would probably, I'll just probably step in the other room and zoom in on it and see what's going on with it. That's all I had.
I did that easy card yesterday. Other than that, liquor licenses,
Yes, I want them.
so motion approved, no skiing rules.
So moved.
Oh, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Schedule include canvas votes.
On October 7th.
October.
So
It don't matter.
probably will
What's that for?
include. Needs to be on Monday the 7th.
Yes.
Can we do it first thing in the morning? Is it what for
I would love to
everybody?
do it first thing in the morning, please.
I didn't know that it'd be afternoon or night.
Morning time.
I'll be out of state, so.
I should be able to make it.
The time again,
The 7th,
7 to 10 a.m.,
no,
No, good. What time can we do
9
it?
a.m., the sooner the better for me.
I don't care, 8:15.
8:15.
okay. I might be able to come, well, 8:15.
You need three.
I need 3 people.
Yeah.
On October 10th.
Seven.
7, okay.
Alan will be here.
I'll be here, one more, yeah.
Be here multiple times
Seven.
at 8:15.
God,
And
that's gonna take over my ears too.
Is there a motion for that?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. We talked about the township clerk, landfill commission election resignation. I talked to John yesterday about that. He forgot to get the resignation letter, so I'll send that on there.
I forwarded you guys Galloway's opinion on the sick leave.
Yeah, I think so.
So
He didn't seem very good at it.
It seemed to me like he's suggesting that the department heads just need to police it themselves,
Yeah,
so.
unfortunately. I mean, I understand the situation and I don't know if we could do something, but it sounds like he recommends we don't.
Yep, so let's just not take action and take that off the agenda.
Solution switch replacement consideration / approval. Randy?
we have to do this every year. I send that out to you guys. Oh, that's the solution.
That's the wrong one, thank you. It's gonna say,
We're gonna
wait.
need the other one too.
That's the one where he's suggesting you get new ones and
Yes.
keep.
They're 9 years old.
I don't see it. I don't see the important one on here. There it is.
Life expectancy on them is 10 years.
Or 9 years. New switch would cost $1,800 a piece. We need 4. And I believe we still have money in the data processing fund.
And then he said they would keep the old ones, if one would go out to put in
Backup or whatever.
the backup.
We've done that before.
I'll make a motion on that one.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Okay, then the other thing that Randy was jumping ahead to. So the certificate of cost allocation plan. I think everybody received that to read over. This is something we do yearly. It's nothing new. Questions, concerns? Motion for the chair to sign.
I'll make a motion for the chair to sign the central service cost allocation plan for fiscal year 24.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Items for consideration, next week's agenda.
I will not be here next week.
You may-
I'll be down in Austin, Texas, so,
So if you don't approve you leaving, then you can't.
well, I gotta go down and investigate.
Yeah.
I gotta go down and investigate what Ellen's been doing down there.
When's surgery?
Surgery is the 24th of October.
Oh, October, I thought it was.
Surgery.
You're next.
yeah, so, well, the three of us
I'm obvious.
are somewhat crippled in
Yeah.
one way, shape, or
John's
form.
gonna, he's gonna get something, what's the?
What are you doing? Oh, your finger.
We get straightened out, Ellen.
And then, now you're next.
Listen, I've had more surgeries than all of you put together. I think I don't need it.
Don't get on a ladder. I would not get on a ladder in the
Yeah.
foreseeable future.
It's, I don't need any more. It's all good.
So what do we have for next week? I think now?
And now Becky, right?
The proclamation. And Becky.
Oh, no, sorry, I don't know.
I think also, but I think the
Dylan, Becky, and Johnny Farm bid opening.
Oh,
What was that?
county farm bid opening.
Oh, I haven't even seen, was it the paper?
So yeah, I said it was. I've never seen it either.
I haven't either.
She said she's got the proofs.
Proof is in the pudding.
just a reminder, that I won't be here next week, but the next following Friday, the 11th, is that active shooter training in Marengo, if anybody wanted to go observe. Unless,
School.
it's at school here in town,
Are they doing high school or elementary?
elementary.
Elementary.
Not sure what time it starts.
Bring my own airsoft gun.
What's that?
Bring my own gun.
I don't think I would be carrying a gun to that. Any replica or anything.
It would be neat just to see it. Like the
Those
Williamsburg-
things hurt.
Nothing would be neat.
No, I mean, the Williamsburg, when they did that, it was so lifelike and realistic. It was with the air care, and they had even mourning and the funeral people talked.
Well, that was the car thing.
Yeah, that was
this
drunk
is-
driving.
Oh, no,
This is
driving.
gonna be, like a active shooters training.
Okay, so we got that taken care of. Lorena, you want to come up? You can come up early, or are you waiting on anybody? All right.
You didn't stay for lunch either yesterday, did you?
I did, I was
Oh, did
there
you?
all day yesterday.
Well, you stayed for the session?
Yeah, got to meet a lot of supervisors there yesterday. And the 14 counties represented.
Oh,
Very good.
And then that's gonna be all.
Remind me, I got something to ask you later.
Okay.
Well, anyway, I think there might be an extra next week.
How many of you qualify for the $20 Casey's gift card?
I was hoping it'd say 55.
Alan does.
Provide the care that the doctor orders.
So if you, and I feel like I'm interrogating you, and I'm trying to understand.
And I
So,
want you to understand.
so you go see somebody 5 days a week. Do you have any patients now that you see 5 days a week,
So not,
Monday through Friday?
so we do have a patient that we do see daily, but it's not the nurse that goes see daily.
Right.
And we arrange that on purpose. So the nurse might go 1 or 2 days a week, and then the aides would go the other days to assist with bathing.
But they don't need any help on weekends.
No.
I know, like from personal experience, I was taking care of a guy a friend of mine for a couple of 3 years, and you guys started doing home health care. And what I observed was you would come in and check him out like once a week, but you only came in like once or twice a week.
Mhm.
And then throw his laundry in while they're taking care of him, and I think sometimes even bathe them. So that's what I observed from what their kind of care was given. So,
So if I go back, I want to be respectful of your time, but I'm here to talk to you all today. So if you want to know what services we provide, so we provide nursing services, we provide aid services, and we provide homemaking services. So we have 3 services that we provide. So nursing is kind of self-explanatory. We have to have doctor's orders, and we follow regulation. So going back to your question, if we got a phone call from a doctor today, we have to follow up within 48 hours, or the doctor can order that we go on Monday, for instance, if it's at the right thing of the patient. So in other words, if the patient needs services sooner, then we have to be there in 48 hours. It's not very common that we have to go out on the weekend. So, but it's not that our services can't be provided, it's just not our routine. Part of that is, overtime, part of that is short staff, right? We only have 2 nurses, so we can't, we have to do what we do. So they provide everything from, central line care to like an NG tube, feeding tubes, ostomies, Foley catheters, wound care. That's what the nurse is there. And typically that's 1 to 2 times a week. We also do med setups. So if patients are on, it's not uncommon for someone to be on 30 different medications. We set them up for them 2 weeks at a time. We also can get in subcontract physical therapy or occupational therapy or speech therapy for those patients that need that based on doctor's order. We also have to have doctor's order for bathing assistance. So we do everything from, a bed bath to a sink bath to a shower bath to a standby and assist to make sure that person isn't falling. Help them with any kind of grooming or hygiene that they need. Also a lot of reminders. Maybe that individual needs reminders to take their medication or reminders to check their blood sugar. And then we might also do some exercises. So the aide might be there to make sure that the person is standing and sitting and standing and sitting, X times based on the order that we're supposed to do. Then homemaking is very variable. So homemaking is all based on what the client needs. So it could be everything from, vacuuming, mopping, kitchen cleaning versus meal prep. It could be errands. It could be assisting with bill pay. It really just depends on the need of the client.
How many of those do you have? 2.
So if you look here on the data, right now, homemaking visits, in the last fiscal year, we did 926 of those. And when I mean that visit can be anywhere from probably about an hour to 3 hours max.
How many employees do you have doing that?
3.
3, okay.
Yeah. So the thing about the homemakers is that those are also our aides. So we like to, because it's fiscally responsible, if someone is getting bathed, and they also get homemaking services, we do them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're in the home, you do them both at the same time. So, pointing out there, the total visits that we did for that whole fiscal year with all different services is just under 5,000. So 5,000 visits we went out into the homes. If you look down to the map a little bit, it shows you the service area. So we do seem to travel a lot of miles, and I'm very aware of that. So total miles was almost 49,000 in the last fiscal year. And so that sounds really high to me, and I started thinking about, well, gosh, what is that? And so if someone drove to North English every day and back, that's 40 plus miles. So if you did something easy like 50 miles a day times 20 days, that's 1,000 miles for one person just to drive to North English and back. So I don't think, based on those estimates, that the miles are really out of character for how far we're traveling. And you can see there in the county, we do serve a lot of clients in North English, in Williamsburg, as well as here in Marengo. So we see less clients in the Victor area and Amana, and I don't know why that
That seems
is.
really out of skew for,
It does, I don't know why that is, other than just population. And North English has a great need, because no other agency serves the southern part of our county.
How do you get out of county limits?
So our regulation indicates that, we serve Iowa County. We don't go outside of our borders.
Oh, right, I just saw Deep River and
Oh, is there an extra?
Deep River, Oxford.
That could be
Oh.
their address.
Is that just the
Yes,
address?
just the address,
Okay, all right, that
yeah.
makes more sense. That's good.
So, we don't go outside of Iowa County. However, this last fiscal year, we did go outside the county one time. It was 5 miles past the county line. And it was a child who was a Iowa County resident who was in a foster home in our neighboring county. And so just in case that child came home, we followed that child, for that reason, so. Yeah, those are the city of address.
That's fine, I'm just wondering if,
Yeah, so when I think of Wellman, I don't think of Iowa County,
yeah,
but their address could be
Yeah.
way down in that
the
part.
southeast corner.
We also get some emergency preparedness money, so that's that service area 5 money. They reimburse, an immunization. So I wanted to say that because the little note I have on the side is these grants are focused more on paying for staff time for doing these kinds of activities. So there are measurables that are required by the grant, such as the things I mentioned, doing the epi follow-up, doing the community health assessment. Those are some of the things that are mandated. And so when my time is used for that, it's reimbursed by that grant. Same thing with immunizations. When we provide those services, then they're reimbursed by the grant. There's always some grant money out there, like the FEP grant, Public Health Emergency Preparedness, that are, they come down from the federal government, and it just depends on what is going on. Like, for instance, that high path avian influenza, it's money that comes down. There was money from COVID. And they typically buy supplies more so than pay for staff time. So that's really good when you can get a new vaccine refrigerator, or in this case, it paid for our photocopier as an IT thing. You know, you can't go without a fax and a scanner and things like that in this day and age. And then what I like to pride myself on is that we got supplemental funding this year. So again, it doesn't pay for county, my staff time, but we were able to do a lot of things in the community, like those community access AEDs, those 24/7. I was able to acquire that funding from the Service Area 5 by writing a grant. And you can see that, for instance, the AEDs, that was $20,000 that we brought into the county to provide that service. Stop the Bleed is something that you're going to hear more and more about. Right now, the Stop the Bleed, again, the grant was for about $20,000. We were able to get over 200 kits to put in the schools. So it goes right along with that active shooter idea that we have basically a Stop the Bleed kit in almost every classroom in our county. So that's really exciting, grant funding that we were able to get and achieve. So some of the other things, again, I work with EMA. EMA does a lot to help after the event has happened, but I'm publishing private vaccine because if it spoils, it's at your cost. If you don't give it and it expires just because, the vaccine is only good for a certain time period, then you tend to eat that cost as well. So I don't want to purchase 100 doses and only give 20, and then I have to eat the cost of the other 8. Mm-hmm. There are some companies out there that will work with you to not have that cost. And so that's what I'm looking into for the future, so that we can be that safety net for people who want to come to the health department for vaccines. There is some state funding. I just got approval this week to participate in the Vaccines for Adults program. It's some new funding that's coming from the state only to local health departments. So now we will be able to provide vaccine to 19 and older, who qualifies. So this has to be someone who's uninsured or underinsured. So again, a very, small group of people, but we will be able to provide vaccines to those at no cost.
Wonder if there'd be like any grant money available to get a generator?
So I've looked into that many times, and Kevin remembers me looking into that many times. Most of the times the grant, because the building is your building, and I say your building, the county building, they won't cover it for that purpose. So it's really difficult to get them to cover it. Part of it is because if they buy something, then how do they know it's going to be maintained and so on and so forth. So all of the funding sources that I'm aware of through the state and the feds will not pay for a generator for the building.
But we haven't given up, right?
Yes, we're still always considering that.
So Adam's been successful in obtaining grants for the ambulance through
Community foundation.
yes.
Yeah,
And it's actually been for the ambulance, even though it's a county entity. I wonder if you were to speak with Adam about this process and how we went about it. But perhaps you could apply for one of those for next year.
correct. And I thought
You're aware
about
of
that.
it? You're aware
Yeah,
of
I'm
it?
aware of that county,
Okay.
yeah. Because a generator isn't, it's not in my budget, let's say that, but it's not overly expensive for the size of our building.
It's about 10 grand. All you need is a home, you don't need a commercial generator.
No.
All you need is a home one, yeah.
Yeah.
They run about
Our
10.
size building. Yeah.
Thank you.
So any other questions? So I know that there was some interest in me coming more frequently. I'm open to whatever schedule that you would like to see me come and present, very similar to this. Maybe not at this length.
I'd say once a year for the annual report and then
Okay.
6 months later.
Okay,
Should be fine. Yeah. Pretty soon.
okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
thank you. Please let everybody know about the flu vaccine. We want to give those Casey's gift cards out.
Have a good weekend.
Okay, then we have an issue with the.
Yeah, I need an amendment on that motion. We have some military ballots out, so I have to give them until 12:30.
Thought we had to do afternoon.
Yeah, so I have to have, could we do the 8th?
In the morning?
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we going
That would
on?
actually work better for me, to be honest, so.
What was the change?
We just need to change it to the 8th of October.
7th to the 8th.
Okay, Alan, you get that?
It's 10th now.
We're getting closer to the 10th now.
To the 8th. I just shut my computer on and turn it back. Plug it in. Okay.
Okay. Is there a motion to make the amendment?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The equal canvas election has been moved.
That would be it on the 8th.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned.